You put your phone down. The lights are off. You close your eyes. And then, it starts. Your brain replays that argument from 3 years ago, and this time, you have the perfect comeback. Or maybe you're imagining a conversation that hasn't happened yet. You know exactly what you'll say, exactly how they'll react. Or you're picturing a version of your life where everything worked out. The job, the relationship. The moment someone finally says, "You were right." Sound familiar? If your brain does this, you're not weird. You're not broken. But here's the part nobody tells you. Your brain is literally getting a hit of dopamine from these scenarios, and it wants more. Here's something your brain never told you. It doesn't actually need something to happen to give you the reward for it. Imagine you're lying in bed, picturing your crush finally texting you back. Or you're standing in front of a crowd, and they're applauding. Nothing has happened. No message, no applause, no success. And yet, you can already feel it, that warmth in your chest, that quiet smile, that small rush of excitement. That's dopamine. Most people think dopamine is the chemical your brain releases after something good happens, but that's only part of the story. Psychologists and neuroscientists have found that dopamine is often strongest before the reward arrives. It prepares you. It motivates you. It pulls your attention towards something your brain believes could become meaningful. Thousands of years ago, this system helped humans survive. A hunter who imagined finding food kept searching longer. Someone who anticipated danger prepared earlier. Your brain learned that expecting a reward often increased the chance of actually getting one. That ancient survival system still exists today. Only the environment has changed. Instead of imagining tomorrow's hunt, your brain imagines tomorrow's conversation. Instead of preparing for a dangerous animal, it prepares for the possibility that someone finally understands you, finally apologizes, finally tells you exactly what you've been hoping to hear. The remarkable part is this. Your brain activates many of the same motivational circuits, whether the reward is real or vividly imagined. To your emotional system, possibility can feel surprisingly close to reality. Scientists call this anticipatory dopamine. You can think of it as your brain giving you a preview of a future it wants to believe in. It's comforting, it's effortless, and it feels safe. Because unlike real life, your imagination never rejects you. It never interrupts you. It never tells you that you weren't good enough. And that's exactly why your brain keeps returning there. Not because it's trying to deceive you, but because it has discovered a place where hope feels real, without requiring the risk that reality demands. You're in the shower, or driving home after work, or trying to fall asleep. And then, without warning, that one moment comes back. The conversation you wish had gone differently. The answer you didn't think of until an hour later. The opportunity you missed. You replay it, again and again. But why does your brain keep choosing that memory out of thousands of others? The answer lies in one of psychology's most fascinating discoveries. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. In the 1920s, psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik noticed something unusual. Waiters remembered unpaid orders almost perfectly. But the moment a customer paid, the details quickly disappeared. Why? Because unfinished tasks stay active inside the brain. Completed ones can finally be put away. Your mind works in a surprisingly similar way with emotional experiences. An argument without closure, a conversation that ended too soon, a chance you never took. Your brain doesn't file them away. It keeps them open, almost like a browser with dozens of tabs that were never closed. Each one quietly consumes attention in the background. That's why these memories often appear during quiet moments. when you're walking, driving, showering, or lying awake at night. But because your brain is still trying to solve a problem, that reality never allowed it to finish. Now here's the one that affects more people than they realize. Think about a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's with your boss, a family member, a close friend, or someone who hurt you. Long before that conversation ever happens, you've already had it dozens of times inside your head. You know exactly what you'll say. You imagine every possible response, every objection, every silence, every expression on their face, and somehow, your version always ends better than real life usually does. But why? Because your brain isn't only predicting the future, it's trying to reduce uncertainty. The human brain is constantly making predictions about what will happen next. The more predictable a situation feels, the safer it feels. When life becomes uncertain, your imagination steps in to create certainty. Inside your mind, you control the variables, the timing, the words, the reactions, even the ending. Reality doesn't offer that luxury. Real people interrupt, misunderstand, become emotional, say things you never expected. And that's exactly what makes real conversations stressful. But here's something important. Mental rehearsal isn't a bad thing. Athletes use it before competitions. Musicians use it before concerts. Pilots rehearse emergency procedures long before they ever need them. Even surgeons mentally practice complex operations. Visualization can improve confidence, reduce anxiety, and prepare the brain for action. Psychologists call this mental simulation. In many situations, it's incredibly useful. But there's a line that often goes unnoticed. Preparation becomes avoidance when imagination replaces action. Instead of having the conversation, you keep perfecting it. Instead of making the phone call, you replay another version. Instead of risking an imperfect reality, you choose a perfect fantasy. Your brain mistakes rehearsal for progress. Each imagined conversation creates the comforting feeling that you've done something productive. But nothing has actually changed. The difficult conversation is still waiting. The relationship is still unresolved. The decision still hasn't been made. And slowly, your imaginary world starts feeling safer than your real one. That's the trap. Not because your brain wants to keep you stuck, but because it always chooses the option that feels less threatening in the moment. The challenge is that growth almost never happens inside the conversation you imagine. It happens inside the one you finally decide to have. This is the part most people never talk about. Not because it's rare, but because it's deeply personal. Think about the days when you felt invisible. You showed up. You worked hard. You answered every message. You did everything people expected from you, and yet, no one noticed. No one said thank you. No one asked how you were doing. No one made you feel truly seen. The day ends. The room becomes quiet. And suddenly, your imagination begins to speak. You picture someone appreciating you. Someone finally understanding you. Someone saying the words you've been waiting to hear. I'm proud of you. I should have treated you better. You mattered more than I ever told you. Those scenes aren't random. They're built from emotional needs that were never fully met. Psychologists have long known that human beings don't only need food and safety. We also need connection, recognition, belonging, affection. To feel that we matter to someone else. When those needs are fulfilled, our emotional system feels balanced. But when they remain unmet, the brain often looks for another way to satisfy them. Sometimes that happens through dreams, sometimes through memories, and sometimes through imaginary conversations and imagined futures. But here's something important. Your brain isn't lying to you. It's communicating with you. Every recurring fantasy is asking the same question. What is missing? Maybe it's appreciation. Maybe it's forgiveness. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's the feeling of finally being enough. The imagined scene isn't the real need. It's only the language your brain uses to express it. This is why fake scenarios often become more vivid during periods of loneliness, after rejection, during grief, or whenever life feels emotionally empty. The richer your inner world becomes, the more carefully you should ask yourself what your outer world is no longer providing. Because imagination can comfort you, but it can never replace genuine human connection. It can give you relief. It cannot give you belonging. It can help you survive difficult moments, but it cannot build the relationships your emotional system is truly searching for. And perhaps that's the most important insight of all. Your fake scenarios are not proof that something is wrong with you. They are clues. Quiet messages from a brain that is trying to protect your emotional well-being with the only tool it has left. The question is no longer, why do I keep imagining these moments? The better question is, what need keeps asking to be heard? Because once you understand that, your imagination stops looking like the problem and starts looking like the map. 4 reasons. 1 brain. Yours. The next time you catch yourself living inside another imaginary conversation, don't ask yourself why it appeared. Ask yourself, what never ended?